Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. One Dutton is in every Taylor Sheridan Yellowstone series, but his story is still incomplete. Only one member of the Dutton family appears in every series of Taylor Sheridan's neo-Western Yellowstone franchise, which makes it all the more fascinating that his story is incomplete. There are 3 Yellowstone series about the Dutton family heading into 2025. The Yellowstone franchise will add a modern-day spin-off of the flagship, the Madison, but it will focus on another family led by Michelle Pfeiffer. It will be a change of pace for the universe, which has focused on the Dutton family so far and has plenty of unfinished stories to tell within the Dutton family tree. The opportunity to fill in the family tree's missing gaps on the flagship series has passed, following the Yellowstone Season 5 finale that closed Sheridan's main series as we know it. Still, with more Yellowstone stories on the horizon, Sheridan will likely solve the biggest mystery of the family yet. We likely won't have to wait until 1944 comes out if the World War II-era saga is still in the cards. Sheridan previously announced the spinoff, but there are no promising updates. Instead, 1923 Season 2, the final installment of the Depression-era saga, could fill in the blanks. Kevin Costner's character's great-great-grandfather, John Dutton, appears in every Yellowstone series. Sheridan first incorporated the character into his 1883 story, a Yellowstone prequel about the Dutton family's journey on the Oregon Trail that led to their settling in Montana. While John Dutton was just a 5-year-old boy in the 1883 spin-off cast, he is a key player in the story. Audie Rick's John makes it to Montana at the end of 1883 and survives. Therefore, James Badgedale would appear as John 40 years later in 1923 as a grown man, married to Emma Dutton with a child named Jack. John Dutton even creatively factors into Yellowstone Season 4, which flashed back to Beth and Case's earliest recorded ancestors after they settled in Montana. John Dutton is a teenager in the scenes, appearing alongside his father, James, his mother, Margaret, and his brother, Spencer. John develops considerably before his adolescent years, with Jack Michael Doak embodying John as a well-mannered teenager in 1893. Despite the character's extensive presence in the franchise, it's easy to forget John's overarching narrative because he's never in a starring role, and intentionally vague details make it tricky to connect his story. Perhaps the most notable reason that the second-generation Dutton is an easily overlooked character is that we have no idea how John Dutton connects to Costner's John Dutton, i.e., despite being his namesake. While it's true for many characters that their direct connection to the modern Yellowstone Season 5 characters is vague, John Dutton forms part of the missing link that will explain everything. The ties at the beginning and end of the Dutton family tree are clear but muddled somewhere in the middle, right around where John Dutton I and his son factor into the Yellowstone timeline. John Dutton II is the father of Costner's character. Despite knowing how the family started, Yellowstone hasn't revealed John Dutton II's father, which is the key to understanding exactly how John Dutton I relates to his ancestors. Whoever birthed John Dutton II can claim to be the direct ancestor of the family's surviving bloodline, which led to Beth and Case. It makes sense that John Dutton II is the son of Jack or Spencer, making him the original John Dutton's grandson or nephew, and the right age to appear as an old man in the Yellowstone flashback where he died. Jack and Spencer Dutton star in the 1923 cast, each a significant facet of the family tree in their own right. Spencer, a World War I veteran and professional hunter, is James and Margaret's child, making him part of the second generation of the Dutton family to inhabit Montana. Jack is the son of John Dutton I, making Jack a third-generation Dutton. We know that one of the men will continue the family with their children since it continues with John Dutton II in roughly the 1920s, and there's no other surviving Dutton that John Hugh's father could be. 1923 will likely fill the gaps. The first season of the series, led by Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren, premiered in 2022, setting up exciting conclusions for both Spencer and Jack Dutton, who started their lives with their wife and fiancé, respectively, in the next outing. There isn't long to wait for 1923 Season 2 as we head into the near year, since it will be available to stream in February. The second 1923 chapter is slated to be the missing link in the Dutton family tree, filling in the timeline between 1923 and Yellowstone, completing John Dutton's story. The Yellowstone universe, brought to life by Taylor Sheridan, is a sprawling saga of family, power, land, and legacy. At the center of this intricate web lies the name Dutton, a family that serves as the nucleus of every series in the Yellowstone franchise. From the modern-day battles of John Dutton in Yellowstone to the historical struggles of James and Jacob Dutton in the prequel series 1883 and 1923, one constant remains. There is always a Dutton, embodying the timeless themes of perseverance and the fight to protect what is theirs. Yet, despite the prominence of the Dutton lineage across generations, their story feels far from complete. Here's why the Dutton saga is as compelling as it is unfinished, and how each series builds a piece of their enduring puzzle. John Dutton, the reluctant patriarch. In Yellowstone, John Dutton, portrayed masterfully by Kevin Costner, serves as the current steward of the Yellowstone Ranch. His story is one of sacrifice and unyielding determination to maintain his family's legacy. As the ranch faces threats from developers, politicians, and rival landowners, John emerges as a stoic figure who carries the weight of his ancestors' struggles. Yet, even as he navigates the present-day challenges, his story is deeply rooted in the past, linking him to the sacrifices of James Dutton in 1883 and Jacob Dutton in 1923. John's character embodies a blend of tradition and modernity, often finding himself at odds with his children, who each represent different aspects of the future of the ranch. Case, the youngest son, struggles with his Native American wife's cultural ties, while Beth fights fiercely to protect the family's assets through corporate and legal warfare. Jamie, the adopted son, grapples with his identity and place within the family. These complex dynamics make it evident that John's story is not solely about land. It's about the survival of a family identity. James Dutton, the pioneer. 1883, the first Yellowstone prequel, shifts the timeline back to the late 19th century, chronicling the Dutton family's perilous journey westward. James Dutton, played by Tim McGraw, is the epitome of grit and determination. Alongside his wife, Margaret Faith Hill, James leads his family through a treacherous frontier, seeking a better life and a place to call their own. Their journey is filled with hardships, from deadly encounters with nature and hostile forces to the emotional toll of loss and sacrifice. James's story is foundational, laying the groundwork for the Duttons' claim to the Yellowstone land. His unwavering commitment to his family's survival and prosperity sets the tone for the generations that follow. However, 1883 is as much a story of hope as it is of heartbreak, leaving questions about how James's descendants would navigate the challenges of maintaining the land he fought so hard to secure. Jacob Dutton, the Guardian. Fast forward to 1923, and the Dutton story continues with Jacob Dutton, portrayed by Harrison Ford. As the family's patriarch during a time of great upheaval, Jacob faces a host of new challenges, including economic depression, drought, and violent conflicts over land and resources. Jacob's leadership style is both pragmatic and forceful, reflecting the harsh realities of the era. Jacob's relationship with his wife, Helen Mirren, adds depth to his character. Together, they represent the resilience and unity required to sustain the Dutton legacy during tumultuous times. Yet 1923 also reveals cracks in the family's foundation, as external threats and internal conflicts begin to take their toll. Jacob's story, like those of his predecessors, underscores the high cost of maintaining power and legacy in an unforgiving world. The common threads. Despite the differences in setting and era, each Dutton shares a common thread, an unrelenting commitment to family and land. Whether it's James's journey to claim the land, Jacob's fight to hold onto it, or John's battle to protect it from modern threats, the Duttons are defined by their resilience and resourcefulness. These traits are not only inherited, but also shaped by the unique challenges of their respective eras. Another recurring theme is the sense of incompleteness in their stories. Each generation builds upon the struggles of the last, yet the challenges they face evolve, leaving no definitive conclusion to their saga. The land, while a symbol of their power and identity, is also a source of constant strife, serving as a reminder that their journey is far from over.